Hello, everybody, and welcome to Salty Sweet Games for our second stream of the day. That's the thing that's happening. Um, I am the aforementioned Sweet. Salty is behind the scenes because we are doing a special mini-series about rifles. Super excited to host this on Salty Sweet Games. It's be a two-shot, one today and one on the 29th. A few things before we get started. I'd like to first give a shout out to Dundas West Games and to Voss Rifles. It is a super cool game where you get to play Canadian soldiers on the World War I front lines. It's powered by the Apocalypse. They just kickstarted, but you'll get to see a lot of the cool stuff coming out of there real soon. So definitely go and check that out over on Twitter and all that stuff. Other than that, in terms of supporting us as a channel on Salty Sweet Games, thank you everyone for look at that subscription. Speaking of, following and subscribe us is great. It helps to support us and the channel. We pay for everything out of pocket, so all of that fun stuff will help support us to keep making shows for you, and also give you really cute emotes because we now have 4 emotes. They're real good emotes. Also over on Twitter, which is the best way to find out when we're doing stuff like this outside of our normal schedule. Other than that, we also have a merch store where you can get a really cute merch of Pretzel, our mascot, or of the Complex Love Polyhedral's design. So you can go and support us over there. That's it on channel admin stuff. So I want to go say hi to all of our friends here who are joining us on this channel for the first time. Really exciting. More faces, new great people. So let's go around and we'll talk to everybody. Let's start off with Jess. Hi, Jess. Welcome to the channel.
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this game. Oh my goodness. I'm Jess. You can find me at go_JG. Today I'm playing Estella Silver, the Scrounger, and I'm very, very excited.
Yay. And let's move over to Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Daniel Grow. I'm going to be playing Carl Clearcut today, who's a scout. And you can follow us over, I'm the business manager at Dundas West Games. And you can follow us over on Twitter at Dundas West Games.
Yeah. Before I go to our GM, again, I'm Kienna, but I am playing Rose Wong, who is the replacement. She's the newbie, so it'll be super exciting to see what happens there. And then I'll pass it over to Jason. Hello, Jason. Welcome to the channel.
Hello, Kienna. I'm very happy to be here on the channel. Yes, at @JustJason, please, on Twitter if you're interested in following me outside of the current game. But as it stands, I will be the field marshal for this lovely little arrangement that we've got going on in the, using the system of Ross rifles. Again, hats off to Daniel, and, his name escapes me.
It's the hard one because it's not Daniel.
It's a hard one, yeah, because it's not Daniel. So it's Daniel, and who's this?
Patrick.
Patrick. Hey, thanks, Patrick. I totally know y'all guys' game. Trust me. But no, I approached Kienna and had this little idea, and I'm so happy that we were able to get things together, get the ball rolling, as it were, and I suppose, without further ado, it would be prudent to jump in as we are all united in a common cause. 15th of March, 1915, approximately 0500 hours. An excerpt from Margareta Munstenberg's Commentary on the Battle of Neuve-Chapelle, first published in the Kriegsrundschau, a popular Berlin periodical. Quote, the battlefield of Neuve-Chapelle in Givenchy, about 7 or 8 kilometers broad, is bounded on the north by the railroad Merville, Laventie, Armentières, on the south by the Canal d'Air à la Bassée, and is crossed by 2 main highways, from Esther to La Bassée, and from Bethune to Armentières. Through this territory, in a southwesterly direction, flow the rivers Lot and Luan, which, supplied by a multitude of brooks and small rivulets which issue from ponds, empty into the canal. In a northeasterly direction, the Lys, with its tributaries, flows through the battlefield, and farther on joins the Difil. The character of the whole region follows from this great abundance of water. It is almost perfectly flat, and does not rise any higher than 19 meters, and about 21 meters in the south near Givenchy. Isolated groves and hedges break the monotony of this land, upon which the exceedingly fierce battles of March 10th and 14th were fought. Each of your section was party to the exceedingly fierce battles of March 10th to the 14th. Still, the sounds of artillery's shells shatter what little calm could be claimed in the aftermath. Still, the rivers flow red in parts, as many a soldier in uniform have been washed clean in the waters of the Lys and its tributaries. Still, you find it hard to believe that barely a day ago, so many of you had been sold the idea that the war would be over by Christmas. Still, you are members of the 1st Division of the Canadian Expeditionary Force upon the Western Front, now barely a month's time removed from your arrival to France. "And how's the spirit of the troops today?" shouts a throat torn apart by grit, smoke, and weariness. "Excellent," sounds the reply from a chorus, sarcastic and bitter already. It's best to greet the day in such a manner. It prevents disappointment. The trenches south of you are still bathed in the light and fury of artillery and gunfire, even in the gloom of the morning. As we tear away from that glorious grandeur that was promised you, we set our sights upon our players here assembled. Beginning with you, Daniel. Amidst the trenches now, who do we see being pelted by dust, debris, and perhaps microscopic artillery residue?
Ooh, the fragments going into the skin, just underneath.
Yeah.
Before you see a young man named Carl Clearcut, German Canadian from Southwest Ontario. Grew up on a farm, one of 6 kids, and was pressured in by his family to do the right thing for his new country that he is learning to love.
Learning to love indeed, as you hear again another blast rocket through this particular portion of the trench. It almost blows your blows your hair back, if not for your helmet, which is, I'm assuming, secured quite fastly upon you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, indeed. Beside Carl, we see another form amidst the trenches. Jess, if you could go ahead and tell the audience who exactly they see amidst the Western Front.
Yep. Estella Silva is messy, wearing a uniform that should still be relatively new, but is definitely already worn and dirty. Somehow has on her a hatchet and a trowel and so many different little bits and bobs and things. An additional knife that has been bent to be an additional little digging mechanism. Just anything possible for that. She is athletic, but I don't know. Already. I think just has hair that looks like she probably took her own blade to it, is really uneven and messy. Yeah, probably standing well, we're all in the dirt, we're all in the trenches, we're all covered in everything. So
indeed, this is where you are. This has been your reality for about the past few weeks. It's a very sharp contrast to whatever patriotic voice was given to the glory of war and all its many splendors that you could be a part of. As indeed another shell drops to the ground and scatters all thought. 2 forms now dive into the trench, avoidant of yet another shell. I would like all of you very quickly to roll a take cover. Just just to kick things off. First roll of the evening before we even meet our third player.
Sounds good. And thankfully, I took Sight of Safety, which is a scout move, which allows me to roll take cover with eye and not wit.
Hey.
Which is great.
Very good.
I succeed.
All right.
I actually have something called Dig In that allows me to create improvised cover to protect myself and friends. Am I able to use that to try and assist?
I'll say that I'll say that you have already built out like an impromptu sort of corner, a hidey hole, as it were. So go ahead and see how that's turned out.
I got a 9.
Okay. So with a 9, what does that do for this?
It says on a 10 plus you shield yourself and others. On a 7 to 9, choose one. The cover you create is fragile and doesn't hold up for long, or the cover is sturdy, but the enemy has turned its attention on you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll say that your efforts have definitely caught the attention of the Kaiser's finest, who are across this field. So it is sturdy, but it takes a little bit of a pelting. So, Carl, you were able to take cover in time. Estella, what'd you roll?
Sorry. 5.
Rose, what did you roll?
A 6.
A 6. Twinsies. So on a 6 minus, your position is compromised. You mark harm. So each of you, as Rose, you enter into the trench. You feel the force of the blast actually sort of crash across your body, and luckily, whatever shrapnel was there was absorbed, or at least a majority of it was absorbed by Estella's sort of sturdier fortifications. But as you dive down into the trench, rocketed almost from this early morning bombardment, who do we see now coated in a fresh layer of grit and debris?
Yeah. I think at first you just see the dust and debris until she finally she brushes herself down. You see a very young Chinese Canadian woman. She looks like she should be in school, kind of like young, like she just got out of high school, if anything. She her uniform would be well kept if it wasn't for the debris, and she's already trying to quickly sort herself out, as if trying to look a little calmer than she actually is, as she's now taken cover, and she's but you can see that her hands are kind of shaking a little bit as she just straightens out her jacket and brushes off the debris.
As the form next to you lands in the dirt, muck, and mire, you actually hear him yell a reply, "And a hearty guten Morgen to you, assholes!" As he sort of stumbles around with a very heavy pack. Your quartermaster, William Oliver Forrester, who is very, very wonderfully starting out the morning, already raging at the world.
I can't blame him. This is brutal.
Right. See that we're doing well today, huh? Again, as gunfire and a cacophony just continues to swirl around each of you.
Yep. Beautiful day.
You know that everybody can see that, right? That's sort of the bad thing about this. And he kind of taps at your fortifications, Estella.
Well, I happen to like things not falling down on my head. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that. He reaches into his pack and actually produces what look to be beans or some sort of sustenance.
What's that you got there?
Breakfast. or at least what passes for it here.
So we're going to eat well for the next week, I'm hearing.
Depends. You eating this in 1 or 7?
What's the right answer to that one?
Whichever one gets you alive. Rose, he actually pats your shoulder. Thanks for the escort, by the way.
Just doing my job. Doing my job.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, y'all are going to be off at trench duty. And he hands another can to you, Rose. Sergeant's wanting you to move back. Apparently, Bois Grenier's got a little bit of a fortification issue that they need some help with. Your section's going to be replaced, don't worry. You fought well enough. I think you'd earned a little traipse around the French countryside.
If I don't like what I've seen so far, if this is what they call French countryside, I don't want to see any more of it.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure they'll see more of you. He kind of peeks over the trenches very quickly before ducking back, a hail of machine gun fire following.
You don't want to be doing that.
I really do blame you for this. You do understand. And he turns to you, Silva.
I don't know. Why, it's flashy, but it works. So, you win some, you lose some. I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry would be a start.
No, I won't.
Fair enough. Right. Well, the sergeant's waiting for you. Rose, just lead him back the way we came. And, try to be careful.
Right. Of course.
Spirit of the troops is excellent. He kind of grumbles to himself, rolling his shoulder and then stopping for a moment before, again, going to Silva. Silva, by the way, that little project that you were talking about, it's not optimistic. I'm not going to lie. The amount of viable seeds that I've been able to get my hands on is non-existent. So, I mean...
Well,
look.
we got some stuff in the dirt before we leave. So, maybe next time we look back at it, it'll be a little greener.
Listen, if you could start growing tobacco, I think we'd be making out like gangbusters, to be perfectly honest.
That is so far at the back of the list of what I'm going to grow.
Speaking of tobacco, where's our ration for the week?
Hard ass. And he kind of passes you a pack of cigarettes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Just be careful. Shit's being... He kind of stops himself. No. Just be careful. That's all I'll say. If there is nothing else, and he looks to each of you.
I believe I'm good. I got my... You were good. I think I'm good.
You're going to regret that. He kind of tips his helmet to Rose and Estella, and Carl makes his way down the trench. Breakfast, everybody! Get your breakfast! And he's just calling out.
Oh, so he can go around shouting, but I can't make shelter? Great. Cool.
Another shell lands nearby the fortification. Again, it seems that the enemy is sort of trained on your position, for whatever reason.
Bit of target practice, I think.
I guess we should get going before worse things happen, right?
You were given the orders. Lead the way.
Yep.
Such confidence inspires the troops as you make your way out the back of the trench. I'm going to assume that y'all are being very, very careful. So if you could make a blend-in check, just real quick.
Well, that's an 11. Another
11.
succeed.
All right.
7.
7. Okay. And Rose?
6.
No, this is brilliant.
Perfect.
This is brilliant. It's the full palette of consequence. Okay, so Carl, you make your way out of the trench perfectly fine, following sort of the path that Rose is carving. 7 to 9, you avoid detection but are put in a difficult situation. Okay. And it doesn't say anything for 6 or less, but that's not good news.
It's not.
Yeah, Rose, as you actually, excuse me, make your way out of the trench, you hear, actually, who here speaks German, if anybody?
Hi.
Oh, Carl, congratulations. You hear frantic calling of there, over there, as...
Oh, okay.
As you look behind and note the swinging of a machine gun encampment. Estella, you have been put, you and Rose have both been put in the quite awkward position of having machine gun fire pelted down at you. I'll give you a choice of consequence. Your fortification is completely destroyed.
I was going to suggest that. I was going to say, I feel like after all this talk about how appealing the thing I made was to shoot at, that should continue to help us with distraction.
All right. So your fortifications have been completely demolished as, again, just bullet after bullet just rips through this fort that you've made, leaving that section not looking the best. But the difficult situation is now y'all basically have to sprint for it. So,
fair enough.
As I'll say that was a consequence for you, Wong. Mark 1 stress.
Hey.
As I'm assuming Private Silva is not exactly the most kind as y'all continue along.
What?
Rose was too focused on finding the path back again that she just screwed up hard on being sneaky.
Yeah, you know what? If were you saying that I was causing stress to Rose?
No.
Okay, the way you voiced that.
No. So, excuse me. To amend, the consequence is being shot by machine guns. Really stressful situation to be put in. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I was going to say, if that's...
No, Estella's an angel. It's perfectly fine.
That's not true either.
Look, I'm trying to help here. So, it is a few... it's a long ways away, unfortunately. Bois Grenier is a commune that's situated about a few clicks northwest of the front, especially now that you're... actually surrounding Neuve-Chapelle, there's a little bit of time where you're able to sort of dart between the sparse ruins. Is there anything that y'all would like to sort of talk about or otherwise look around as you pass through Neuve-Chapelle on your way to Bois Grenier?
Well, I think being basically a farmhand who's even going through a smaller location, I'm just gonna be keeping an eye out for see if there's anything else to grab for food wise. Like raiding, even though we're taking from other people, but we're gonna be on the front and there's not gonna be anything to eat there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you wanting to scan the horizon? Just sort of get a feel of the battlefield, as it were?
Yeah, I want to try to understand. I want to see what's ahead of us. Being like a scout, I like to have my eyes open, to be aware of what's going on. So
sure. I'll say that as you are also making your way through Neuve-Chapelle, there are several other members of the CEF and a few of the Indian regiments who are making their way, sort of coordinating this northern defense, which is still being battered, unfortunately.
All right.
Go ahead and scan the horizon for me.
Oh, that's a 4. So.
Let me see here. On a 4, well, On a 4, unfortunately, you get nothing. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of sound and fury going around. The fight has not gone out from the Germans, as it were, which is no surprise. Pardon. But as you sort of go along, you kind of, I'll say, as you're making your way, you get in the way of a few people who kind of get a little testy, but they don't really acknowledge you other than sort of like a glare before going on to their section.
Yeah, something we're used to. A little bit nicer than machine gun bullets, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, definitely. Rose, Estella, anything you'd like to do as you continue along to your sergeant?
No, after I was told that my garden was a failure, I would have similarly like been looking at fresh stuff, but having seen Carl fail to do it, I probably wouldn't also go and do this exact same thing. So, you know.
I mean, you can if you want.
No.
Oh, okay then.
I don't think unless there's like a different maneuver, but I'm looking at the moves and I don't think there is.
I mean,
I was wondering if it like counted towards my special project, but I don't think there's anything for that. Okay.
There is asking around if you want to see if like anybody has seen anything, but
might be a good idea to know what's coming up ahead of us. If people are heading the opposite direction, we might want to ask them what's happening.
It's an idea.
Okay.
All right.
I will do that. I will ask around. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll.
Do I specifically do this right after Carl makes them angry? Do I go over and like...
I'll say that these are sort of concurrent.
Me. At the same time. That is an 11.
11. Hey, good job.
Hey, yeah.
On a hit, you may ask a question about the scene, and I will have to answer honestly.
Gosh. I think, like I said, it would be looking for... We just got told we're going from the trenches to a nice little French... We're going further into, like, the French countryside. So, is there any opportunity for, like... Hey, you know, we don't want to, like, take your stuff. Although if you want to give us some stuff, we'll take it. But also, if you give us the means to grow it ourselves, we won't need to bug you. So do you want to, like...
Right.
You know, we're working hard to keep everyone safe.
So
from our perspective.
Yeah, so you're asking more after the sort of civilian situation, as it were?
Sure.
Okay. Luckily, most of the... and you're told this, I'll say that there's probably a sort of haggard kind of figure who is able to kind of describe the area as it stands. Member of the French Canadian Corps. He describes Bois Grenier as sort of like more of a commune or village. Many farmsteads throughout. Most of the civilians have been evacuated, most if not all, or are in that process. But he has heard that, especially toward the north, nearer to the river, there may be a few farmsteads that haven't been like raided. He actually tells you of a haunted farmstead or something like that he's kind of he doesn't give much credence to it.
That's the good kind. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't give much credence to it, but he also says, yeah, well, there are people thinking there's a Christ in the trenches somewhere, so he shrugs.
A what in the trenches?
The Christ of the trenches. It's a little crucifix number that was found in a church nearby. Some people are saying it's a sign of God's favor or whatever. I just know that it creeps me out.
God had any favor, wouldn't be doing this, so I don't know so much about that.
Amen.
But thank you for the information. We'll take that. And I will when Carl's done being yelled at, I'll like nudge him and be like, a little further north there's some farmsteads we might be able to check out.
Let's check it out. Let's see what they got.
Also, some of them might be haunted, according to this guy.
Haunted? We'll check that one out first.
Exactly, because if it's haunted, no one else wants to go there.
Also, the stories we can tell.
Yeah, because if there isn't anything interesting, we'll just make something up.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, the oogly boogly.
Yep. Yeah, oh gosh, the shadows were moving and spooky.
From the same guy, you hear "shit name for a ghost" as he walks towards the trenches.
Rose keeps looking like she wants to say something, but like as they keep like talking about the supernatural, she just continually just kind of tries to fade into the background, essentially.
You actually get bumped on the side of like a passing soldier. It's like, oh, sorry, just continue along. It's a hectic scene out here.
Hey, City Kid, know anything about ghosts?
Yeah. I mean, heard stories about ghosts and stuff.
Great. So you distract the ghost and we'll take all the stuff. Perfect.
What? How?
I don't know.
No.
Make something up.
Just distract them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same way you distract a gunfire.
Perfect.
So, just run?
Yeah, that would work. Make a lot of noise.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So, as this continues on, anything further that y'all would like to do before making the trek back?
I think I'm good. Carl's just keep an eye out.
All right. So, Rose, as you are leading the way, you do note that there are a few transports that are going along. The distance to Bourgogne is about 10 kilometers. If you want to walk that, you certainly can, but that's putting you probably a little bit behind unless you keep sort of a consistent kind of pace. But again, transports are sort of coming and going, troops getting off, troops getting on. So what are you thinking in terms of getting to Bourgogne?
I think that Rose wants to stick on like the more travel paths. She's not quite comfortable going off of it for now.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
There is a road that goes along, sort of called the Pas de Calais, which you can certainly walk in about that time.
Yeah.
All right.
Rose will kind of guide them down that way. Like, if anything, she again, it's like that thing of like trying to look confident, but it's just not quite being sold. Like, I know where I'm going.
Absolutely.
It's fine. So.
I'll say as you're making your way along, there actually is a transport that sort of honks to you. You've been marching for about, I'll say, like 30, 40 minutes, like into a 2-hour walk before this transport honks at you, and its driver just sort of wordlessly motions to each of you.
They like hop on the back? Is it like an open cab truck?
Yeah. It's very much like you get the impression that it had at some point sort of like a canvas covering, but that's gone for whatever reason. Can't imagine why.
Smart. You might.
Canvas is useful.
So I'm gonna throw my rifle up onto the back of the truck and climb in. Is there anybody else in the back?
There are a couple. Who seem to be from the Indian regiment. They are kind of off closer to the cabin of the truck, but they're not really saying anything. They're just kind of like keeping an eye out on the trench now, as it's still sort of within your periphery, and obviously you still hear the sounds of the battlefield, but being so far apart from it, it just feels strange almost, like dreamlike.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to hop in the back. I'll reach my hand down for anybody else coming up behind me, but until if that's the... You guys coming back up to the truck, or are you going to keep walking?
Oh.
Yeah. Rose will kind of like wave a thank you to the truck driver.
Wordless salute, and are you trying to get in the cabin or the back?
In the back. She's just being polite.
Fair enough. As you all make your way into the back, the truck is slowed down a little bit, but it's a hell of a lot quicker. You get to Bois Grenier probably around like 6:45 or so, or 600 hours, closer to 700. But as the truck skids to a stop, the Indian Regiment sort of members take their leave very quickly, not really intent on conversating, going immediately to what seems to be like a bar of some sort that's been, shall we say, repurposed for more pressing needs.
Clever.
Rose, I would like you to go ahead and roll for I think it is, just generally.
Okay. An 8. I succeeded on something.
Hey, finally. I'll say that you actually note the sight and the voice of your sergeant, who I've just realized doesn't have a name. Joseph's. Joseph's sounds like a sergeant's name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So, Joseph's is currently in sort of what seems to be a pretty heated discussion just from the redness in his face and the sort of person that he's sharing this moment with. He doesn't stomp out of the room, but he is definitely in sort of a kind of de-escalating mode, as it were.
Yeah, Rose will probably, whoever's closest to her, she'll probably reach out and just kind of tap on the arm.
Flip a coin. Is it Carl or Estella?
Odds, Estella. That's Estella.
Estella. Rose immediately starts tapping on your shoulder.
Yes, city kid?
Sarge's over there. He doesn't seem to be in a good mood, but we also should probably go and say that we're here.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Go say hi.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry. I'm
so
not usually
good.
this mean,
Really
I swear.
You've been put in command. I have nothing to say. Go for it.
Okay. Rose will go over to Sergeant Joseph.
The rumbling of engines and the movement of equipment, you see crates going across, and it's a whole scene. But Rose, you make your way over to the sergeant. Go ahead. Oh boy. Seeing him now, you see this very, very tired, sun-drenched, sweat-soaked gentleman who's he looks like he hasn't had a breather in the past 3 hours solidly. He's obviously been up pretty late into the night, some of which you sort of parsed, but as you get to him, he rolls his shoulders, straightens up, and kind of pats at his shirt, his uniform, before clearing his throat. Private Wong, good to have you back.
Sergeant, I have Private Clearcut and Silva.
Your entire section, right?
Other than Quartermaster, yes.
Quartermaster, yeah. Just had to be selected for delivery duty, didn't he? Never mind. I'm sure that you're well aware of the significant gains in ground that we've been able to secure given our successful assault of the German line.
I have certainly heard so.
Well, there are a lot more shit than Hague's making it out to be, but as it stands, we're in a place where we're safe enough to maybe start making some use of the land, or, well, at least what's on the land. There are a few homesteads up north. They're being divided into quadrants and distributed to who we can spare. And since you're technically qualifying for leave, folks above me think that it's a little less cruel. Send you along. Let somebody else take a beating for a little while. Get you out in the open.
Oh, good to hear.
Is there a problem, Private Wong?
No, just, I mean, this is all very new. Just trying to get my, a better grasp of things around here.
Luckily, they've had the good common sense to draft up some maps. Apparently, they've got some creative on their team. Here, in the hands, what looks like a very crudely drawn map of one particular quadrant, described as being 5 clicks north, west of Bois Grenier. Further towards the, I believe it's the Lay River, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong.
Yeah, Rose will take the maps. All right. Is there anything else you need from us, Sergeant?
You see him kind of tense. He kind of bites on his tongue, and then he motions for each of you to step away from the place where he came out. And indeed, you see a very well put together British officer who is very much kind of astride very gloriously in the morning, along with an attendant who is seen with sort of a sketchbook. They're both sort of speaking to each other as they go off down another corridor of the commune. Joseph's kind of sidles y'all aside and says, all right, to be perfectly frank, clear, and honest about all this, they're basically just asking you to raid. Most of the evacuees have possessions that have been left behind, and hopefully pantries that aren't ill-stocked. They're asking you, God willing, to make sure that the rats starve before us. Now, you did not hear this from me, and this has not been confirmed in any current reports, but there may be a shortage of munitions in our future and our present. As it stands, I would appreciate it if you kept it as quiet as possible while you're out there. We don't anticipate any resistance, but who knows?
Sarge, got a quick question. Is there anything in particular we should be looking out for? Should we be completely stripping the house down, or what do you want us to do?
Don't tear off any wood paneling, but I'm sure that you could probably keep an eye on certain alcoves. Mainly they're requesting food and whatnot, but I'm sure that if there's any copper wire or anything that might be of use to the regiment as a whole, they wouldn't be opposed.
Okay.
And we're only taking this from already emptied homes.
Already emptied, yes.
You're sure everyone's gone? We're just taking food at this point, like you said, from the rats.
Estella, I realize that you're trying to be a humanitarian, but as far as has been reported to me, there are little to no civilian presence within this particular section.
Little to no, so that means there is some.
He kind of pauses and takes a deep breath. If it makes you feel any better, there's only about 2 homesteads that you'll be searching.
Got it.
Try to make it easy on you.
So,
Fair enough.
I think we'll head out then. Make this as quick as possible.
You're going to be heading out with a couple of Gurkhas, as far as I understand it. And they're good folk, as far as I can tell. Great that the sun never sets on the British Empire. You find friends of all kinds in all places.
Yep. Okay, so where are we meeting up with them? What's the timeline?
He looks at his watch, kind of taps at his forearm. You got 30 minutes. There'll be a transport that'll be making its way through here. Covered, as far as I know. Gurkhas will take it because they're going to be the farthest north, but they'll drop you off at your quadrant.
Okay, fantastic. Is there any place... One further question, sir. Is there somewhere where we can store our supplies before we head off? I'm sure you're going to want us to carry much more back than we already have.
Should be a quartermaster around the way. Should have some canvas bags. Duffel bags. Dump it in those. What you can carry and nothing more, please. And notify us if there are anything, or if there is anything extremely valuable that we might make use of.
Noted. Thank you, sir.
Anything else? And he kind of looks to Rose, who has been exceedingly quiet.
No. Understood. Everything's understood.
He nods. Takes a very labored sigh. And then marches back into what is basically field operations for this portion of the line. Indeed, you see the unspooling of phone wire, couple of arguments sort of breaking out over where exactly to put a post in relation to certain buildings. It's very much hectic, but you have your orders. There's a quadrant to the northwest that needs a searching.
Does it line up with what we heard about the haunted house?
You kind of have to. That's a good question. I would say, you can ask around again if you want to maybe find out what exactly is going on. Or I'll say you can scan the horizon.
Like it's in the same like quadrant. We just don't. It's like we don't know like the exact details, or.
Yeah. Basically, if you want to pinpoint and say, "Oh yes, we're going to the haunted house," you're gonna have to sort of ask around and.
I will ask around.
Sure. Ask around away.
Yeah. So you said this is at a bar anyway, right? So I'm looking for like the locals at the bar type thing.
Yeah, there are a few civilians who are helping around.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to, without giving too much of like what, our Sarge wants us to do. I'm just double checking like to match up what I heard from the previous civilian to our current plan. No, I have a +2 because of wit, so that becomes an 8.
An 8. Something is demanded of you in return. Boy. So, I'll say that there is a local who is kind of like very happy to help. And as soon as you sort of reveal why you're asking around, he brightens up, because that is very funny. One of the homesteads that you're searching actually is that haunted one, the one that's rumored to be haunted. The second one is his old homestead, and he would really appreciate it if maybe you don't look as hard in some of the rooms as you could, please.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever. Just asking for privacy in this very stressful time.
I will. You know what? You tell me which rooms you don't want anyone going into. I maybe accidentally drop some wood planks in front of them and oops, no one can get in. Like, just let me know which ones.
A friend indeed, he replies. He draws out, he's no artist, so he sort of just draws out a four-cornered square. First floor, it's only a one-story homestead. He kind of curses that he was never as rich as a Dufours. Blocks it out as much as he can. There are a couple of rooms in the back right corner that he requests stay closed, as it were.
Okay. I will take that blueprint and I will, nod to my new friend and I will wish him well and I will head back over to my friends.
Sure. As it stands, you also note, with your departure back to the group, there seems to be an arrival of German prisoners who are being relocated. They are being escorted by a few of the actual British regiments that are sort of around here, making sure that they get over to where they need to get to. Seems to be a fenced-off area, almost like a cow pen or something of that description, where they are herded into, about 25 in total, as it were.
Can I scan the horizon to see if I'm able to recognize any of our officers?
Sure, absolutely.
That is a 9.
A 9. Okay, so scan the horizon on a 9. Your view of the battlefield is incomplete. Okay, so as you are kind of trying to get a beat on whether any of them are officers or not, you don't see any, but there are a few who kind of like are shoved to the ground or otherwise like urged more strongly to get to where they need to get to.
Is the fenced in area within eyeshot? Like I'm able to see where they're going to be heading to?
Yeah, it's within eyeshot, and if you so desire, you can actually follow.
I think I will. I think I'm gonna go follow the British soldiers, and then I'm gonna roll an ask around check on I'm able to speak German to see if I'm able to learn anything about anything upcoming.
Roll it up. Why not?
Well, by the way, before I do this, I'm gonna, when I get close to the fence, I think I'm gonna offer the British guy like a cigarette. Like, it's okay. I'm Canadian. I'm not a German spy, because I'm sure this has happened in the past.
Oh, don't worry, mate. There's loads of German spies who've told me the exact same thing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Canadian. In a thick German accent.
Right. What the fuck?
Well, that is a 12. So
12. Okay.
Double sixes.
Double sixes.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think I'm going to be asking around these German soldiers and saying, "Hey, come on, guys, come on! Like, the war is over for you. Tell us what's going on. Is there anything that we have to? Oh, how are things on your end?"
Piss off. That's the immediate response. Which
was? Sorry, I missed that.
Piss off.
Oh, piss off. Great. fantastic.
This has a cough. You hear a couple of grumblings, but one of them seems to have given up and sort of is compliant with your asking. So with Scan Horizon and also with Ask Around with a 12, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to straight up ask, I guess the thing I'm really interested in is knowing, I want to know more about anything that's upcoming that the Germans might have, like if they have more ammunitions on the way, how's their food supply doing, just how well are you fed?
Yeah, you get kind of the initial from this man. I'll go ahead and give him a name, Johannes. Johannes is very confident, at least at first. He actually has sort of a taunting kind of air about him, saying the might of the German Empire is more than able to take a few scraps. That what you gave to us last week, we've been having for several months. This is no issue. But as you're talking, it's sort of like becoming clear to you, oh, their position is actually relatively unaffected by our efforts.
Yeah.
And yes, we gained ground, but now we're basically hanging on to it with white knuckles.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I feared. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand him not one, but 2 British cigarettes and say, Guten Tag, have a nice day.
He immediately breaks them and throws them at your feet.
Oh,
Yeah, and then he immediately says, never a smoker.
Never a smoker.
Going back to...
Oh, that guy just wasted 2 cigarettes. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Rose, is there, as you are sort of whipped to the winds of war, is there anything that you would like to kind of do or take advantage of in the 30-odd minutes that you've got?
I think she's doing that thing of like trying to look like she's not just stalling or just hanging around. Like she's like, yes, I'm very busy.
Very
so
busy.
The busiest. But like she can't find anything to do. I think she just generally gets brushed off.
Of course. Of course.
She's just a little too eager.
Sure, absolutely.
And I think we'll just like circle back to the others at some point.
Sure, absolutely. So, as you circle back, you do see indeed a transport pulling up along with a couple of soldiers. There are 4 in total of the Indian regiment who arrive. 2 of them are wearing turbans, and the one who seems to be the lieutenant is giving orders in his in very erudite fashion, very no nonsense, but very clear cut in his directives. He's got a very well-washed beard, but his uniform, much like y'all's here, it's a little tattered, it's a little worn, but as he lays eyes on you, he kind of motions over and sniffs a little bit. You're the ones that will be joining us?
Yeah, believe so.
Marvelous. Lieutenant Ranbir Singh, at your service. And he nods his head.
Private Rose Wong, nice to meet you. Private Clearcut and Silva will be here shortly. And she's just like casually, I say, just like looking over to where they are.
Gusharan, Taranjit, and Rashi. And he points to his section, who all just sort of give very simple salutes. Right? As far as I understand it, you're the last quadrant before us. so you're very fortunate. Northwest, yes?
Yep. And she'll take the map and she'll kind of like, we're told here.
Fantastic. Well, climb in the back. I'm sure that Rashi will give you more than a comfortable ride. And he pats her shoulders, and Rashi kind of like chuckles. Each of them chuckle to themselves.
Yeah. Rose will kind of go and find the other two. Stella, Carl, right here. You get there, Carl? You look a little...
I'm fine. Wasting materials.
Wait, what's that?
Don't worry about it. None of you. Something I can handle myself.
And Rose will climb aboard.
Taranjit actually helps both of you up, or all of you up, as he also gets into the transport. Its engine roars and rumbles to life, and very shortly he actually produces from his pack what seem to be a few dried dates one of which he gives to the members of his section before holding the bag out to each of you.
Hey, well, yeah, appreciate it. It's been a while since I had some flavor to it.
Should come over to our section. We have an amazing cook.
I'm sure you do.
I think we may have to make a stop there at some point.
Maybe we'll come up to you. Yours might be a little quieter.
Not such luck.
Holds out the bag of dates to you, Rose. Do you partake?
Yeah.
All right. Any of you hoping for a blighty?
My character probably wouldn't understand what that was.
I don't understand what that is.
The slang would be like, come again?
A blighty. The English took our word and made it mean something different, but as it stands, it's a good enough phrase, I suppose. An injury. Something that'll send you home. He kind of eggs on.
So, I think my character's just going to be kind of quiet. Carl's just going to sit there like, I'm not getting hurt. I'm not going home until this is over.
I mean, would be pretty difficult to do that, get injured and go home.
Depends on how hard you want to go home, I guess.
What? You said it was your word and they made it different. What was it before?
Another one at this point. Excuse me. Gursharan speaks up. Home.
So they took something as good as home and they made it into a problem. Sounds about right.
They're English. What can we say? They kind of laugh.
Fair enough.
The road is relatively bumpy and relatively silent. As you continue along, Rashi she's a great driver. Gets you there as quickly as possible. Perhaps not in the most comfortable of ways, but still, she gets to your particular quadrant, slams on the brakes. The Indian regiment is prepared for it, but each of you kind of have that little stutter step of like, okay, wow, we've just stopped. They kind of wait for each of you to adjourn.
So I guess we'll hop out, grab some of the empty bags. I'm assuming that we picked some of those up, or there was some in the lorry.
Yep.
And I think we'll make our way. Gesture of good day, and
Yeah, thanks. Don't forget, we're gonna come visit you for food sometime. You ready? You made it sound too good. It's your own
We'll
fault
have a
now.
table prepped for you, don't worry.
Perfect.
One of them actually calls out, "How's this Friday sound?"
You know
Friday's
what day
great.
it is?
You know what day?
You know what day it is? That gets more than a laugh. They're almost slapping their knees as you make your way out of the lorry. They wave goodbye, peel off, and seem to be heading towards not exactly a thicket, but at least a small collection of woods that you,
Trees.
yeah, that you can sort of see is actually a little bit further away. Actual trees.
Actual trees. Oh my god.
Whoever would think? As you look around, according to the map, in front of you should be 2 farmsteads, and between or besides there should be, a few sheds or whatnot. But as you sort of look out, you don't even need the map. It's literally flat here. It's mind-bogglingly so, and very much, very much not that great.
Is there any green left at all?
Let's see. This is May 15th. Yeah, there's a little bit. Coming out of the winter, you've noted the countryside has been March. Wow. Coming out of the winter, the countryside has been very slow to gain any sort of color. There are wheat stalks that have been here for quite some time, unpicked, obviously sort of left over from the previous harvest. There's a bit of green in the trees, there's a bit of green on the ground, but in terms of salvageable food, you'd have to look in the homesteads and hope that somebody had some canned goods.
Yeah, I would think that at this point, looking over the fields at homesteads itself, getting a bit of a flashback to back home, being a person who lived on the farm for their entire life, might get a little bit emotional there.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think we'll.
Is that hay fever, or are you crying?
Let's keep moving.
All right. So as each of you make your way, you get to the first farmstead, which, Jess, you had made friends with the former occupant of this farmstead and made him a promise. Do you intend to keep that promise?
So half and half.
You'll try.
I'm gonna peek and not touch. I'm gonna look with my eyes, not with my hands.
Look with my hands. I will grab
I'm
it.
gonna look with my hands. Those eyeballs that I keep spare in my hands.
I mean, it can happen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
We're going to Pan's Labyrinth.
I just need I just need to double check, I intend to keep my promise to not take anything. I just need to double check there's nothing horrible in those rooms. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say you can, all of you, if you're attempting to search the house, can roll whatever you so desire. Most likely it'll be or if you want to roll wit to intelligently direct your sort of, where would I think if I were a French civilian being told to hide my valuables or being told to hide my food, where would I go?
I'm assuming it's a cellar.
Yeah, there may be. You make your way to the homestead. It's very much a one-story kind of affair, very simple. None too complicated. The door is even open as you walk in.
So we might want to be careful going forward. I don't like the sound of an open door.
Actually, we have an invitation, and Stella's gonna hold out the map. This very kind person actually told me for us to feel free to grab everything. Here's a nice layout. Here's a blueprint. And it's like very messy. It is like it is not like an architect's blueprints or anything. But
generously, it could be described as slapdash.
But yeah. So apparently, all these rooms are good to go, and I show all like the good ones. These ones, I have promised we will not bother, as a little bit of, as from all the talking and the kindness and the information and everything I gained from this kind person. And they confirmed, haircut, guess what?
Yeah.
The other house is our haunted house. Hey?
Dope.
Wong, you ready for the ghosts? You ready? Huh?
Yeah, totally. Super, super ready. Always ready. The readiest.
Perfect. Exactly. So this is our warm-up house, and then ghost house, everyone. Get ready.
Yeah. That's a brilliant idea. All right, so...
Yeah, so can I use this map to specifically go to the rooms? And because what I want to do is honestly peek inside, make sure there's nothing like...
untoward or...
Yeah, like I just want to make sure there's no people...
Here's my
Number
mountain
one.
of heroin. Like, yeah,
that there's no like weapons waiting for the Germans.
Sure.
Like literally just as long as it's no extreme, I'm then gonna like close them off and like cover them up.
Okay.
Because I said I would do that.
All
like
right.
barrels of gas. Oh, that's a lot of chlorine gas. Oh.
You know what? Exactly. Like as long as it's nothing like outlandish.
Okay.
I would do that.
I'll say that you get a +1 to the roll because you're specifically looking for something like, well, wait a minute, is something amiss here?
Because I have a man.
Yes. Clearcut, what were you thinking of doing?
Well, I'm actually going to wait for this role to play out because I want to, basically my character is going to ask the question, like, who are these orders from? Why aren't we taking everything?
Okay. And Wong, are you just searching the house or what are you doing?
Probably just searching the house.
Okay, then just...
So probably like once in a while, like Head will kind of look over to see what the others are doing.
But like, go off. Yeah. Okay.
So I rolled a 9, and then I thought I was using maybe my wits, which is +2, and then I thought I was maybe getting your +1, which makes it a 12.
Fair enough. All right. As you peel back both of the doors in conjunction, one of them seems to be a master bedroom. It's you get the strong impression and vibe that this is a bachelor's pad. So it's nothing too fancy, but you do note beneath the bed there seems to be a lockbox of some description, and with a 12, I will say that you do find the key in the other room.
What terrible things could be in a lockbox? At this point, it's under the dude's bed. I feel like it's just porn, and I want to leave it be. That's his business. I don't want to yuck his yum, But I guess I should double check.
I mean, you can manipulate the lockbox in any configuration you so desire.
And farmer porn? Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to see that. Like, I don't know.
What would that be?
Could it really be anything so horrible that I need to invade this dude's privacy at this point? I was really looking for big bads, and this isn't a big bad, right?
This is only the first room.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the lockbox. I'm gonna leave the lockbox for now because I'm really just I don't want to. This dude mostly made it sound like he just didn't want me to invade his privacy, and I want to respect that.
Yeah, you. I'll say that along with the key, you found it in what seems to be a carton of ammunition, but no gun.
Is it ammunition that works for us? Didn't we?
It's looking around. It seems to be.
We're getting technical.
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I mean, is all I'm saying is that like we
Is
like
it
our
for us?
Yeah, our boss said that we might be low on munition at some point. Is it something that we can use? If not, like, is it a farmer's shotgun that does nothing?
No, this seems to be just to describe it, this seems to be ACP ammo for a Mauser or some sort of pistol weapon.
That will not work with our Ross rifles. Yeah, let's try to find a gun, because a Mauser pistol inside a French farmhouse is suspicious. But why does he also have a pistol? He's a farmer.
To scare away people?
I think a rifle would handle that, but it's a pistol. Let's keep looking around, I think. The creepy stuff might not be the ghost. It might be the French farm guy.
Okay.
Fair enough. Rose, what did you roll for your search of the house?
It is a... Wow, double 6. It's a 12.
Wow. 2 in a row.
I think that she started hearing stuff about porn and just was like, and I'm gonna dive in, ignore that conversation. Nope.
and I am focusing now. So as that conversation has gone on, it's in the background for a long time, for longer than you thought it would be.
In the background, Clear Cut and Silver are just like, farmer boys? Sorry.
French farmer.
No thanks.
With a 12, I'll say this. You notice there are a few a few rations or canned goods, and like not exactly the most appetizing of things here. You indeed note that there seem to be pickled eggs and some other sort of pickled goods that are within the pantry that you could carry, though they're in glass containers, so you'd have to be kind of careful around them. But as you're looking around, I'll say that you note there's a fine layer of dust on everything. It seems that this home has been pretty much abandoned for about a month or so. And thinking back, you remember many of the civilians were told to evacuate with the arrival of the CEF, so maybe that's just what it is. But that some of the dust, especially on one of the windowsills, is disturbed, as if it was opened and then shut. And indeed, you actually see there seem to be like scuff marks or something of that description. It looks like somebody climbed in and out of the window.
Okay.
With a 12, I'll say you do know how recently. In comparison to the rest of the dust that's around here, probably like maybe a couple of days, maybe.
Okay. As soon as Rose sees this, I think she was like in the middle putting stuff in her bag. Like she'd set the bag on the counter and she was putting stuff away. And see this. Carl, Estella.
I don't know, but the box seems harmless. I don't think there's anything in there.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
I think it's, I don't know. What's the worst? Like drawings?
Yeah, I want to assume it's not so bad. Are you like in visual range?
Yes. I imagine that literally like there's a hallway with two opposite doorways that both Carl and Estella are standing having this conversation, and just in the foreground Rose trying to get their attention.
City Kid, why are you dancing over there? Did you find an excellent, is there a record player?
No. And wait, it seemed like someone came in here and, like, a couple days ago.
I didn't see any movement in the front. The door was open, but seemed everything was untouched. Where could they come in?
The window, like there's like scuff marks, and also like it's super dusty in here, but it's not as dusty right here. Someone came in and out through the window.
Can you tell if something's been taken?
I don't know, but this was like 2 days ago, maybe-ish. It's hard to tell dust age, but...
If anybody wants to find that out, I'd say roll wits.
Not my rule.
I will try, but I'm very scared.
Give it a shot. Why not?
Oh my god!
Is it 12?
It's a 12 plus 2. It's a 14. I'm sorry.
There was going to be suspense or mystery somewhere along the line.
I'm sure I'll roll real bad real soon, I promise.
Rose, what did you get?
A 4. It balances out.
Like there's like a panic to you. Like you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Who was in here? Why were they in here? Like you're on the path of like the investigator. Estella, as you sort of take a look, you're not exactly familiar with dust or anything like that, but
I'm not a detective.
But I mean, you can put 2 and 2 together. It looks as though somebody raised the window because there's a little, and you note actually on the sort of window itself, there's a chip in the wood. Lifted it up, came through, and looking through some of the cabinets, you note that there are actual circles in the dust that have been sort of undisturbed. So you figure they got some food. You figure they probably got some water because there was a standing pail discarded right outside that window.
So it looks innocent, though? It looks like someone just got to it before us.
Yeah, it doesn't look as though like there was something. Although, with a 14, I'll say that as you kind of look back to the carton, you kind of feel it again, and you note that it's as if one full carton has been shoved into another empty carton. As if
what do you mean by
as if somebody dumped a full carton of ammo for themselves and then had it to where it was disguised. Like, oh no, there was only one carton ever, but indeed there were 2 at one point.
Interesting. Okay. As they're doing this, I'm just gonna be scanning the rest of the building nonchalantly, like gun on shoulder, trench club in holster. I'll roll with I.
Go ahead.
That is a 9 plus 1, so 10.
9 plus 1 is 10. So you're looking to what exactly?
I'm just scanning the rest of the room. Like I don't know anything about these orders about not going to other particular rooms, but
Sure. Rest of the house seems to be clean. Got a few viable bits of food that will probably be rationed out to oblivion.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless you intend to pick up a Mauser at some point,
I don't know.
Of any use. You still haven't looked in the lockbox though, so
I guess I'll circle back to the other 2 and say we're clear, except for that box, which I can just open with this club. Just drop it right on the box with this club. Get it over with. Get it over with.
Jason, you said we found the key, didn't you?
Yes.
In the other room.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we're looking now. We tried to be good. So
It'll bug me for the rest of the day. It'll just bug me.
We'll just unlock it. Nothing bad. We'll close it. It's lock it back up like it never happened. We'll put the key back. It's fine. I want to believe everything is fine because, these things being gone, and I point to like the dust circles you said where it was clearly like previously food and stuff. That's innocent. Like anyone want that. That's fine. This double bullet nonsense, I'm very confused by. Like,
we'll just throw it in the sack and pretend like we didn't notice, I guess.
Sure.
Okay, so we will peek inside the lockbox. Gosh, why are you making me be a bad person? I tried so hard.
We can draw sticks.
No. Oh, I'm just gonna. Okay. I take out the lockbox. I put it on the bed. I like, oh gosh, take the key. I'm like, okay, just gonna open it. Just gonna look inside. Nothing bad. Gonna lock it back up. Put it back.
I'm over your shoulder, like.
Where is Rose in this scenario?
I was gonna say Rose.
I was just probably peeking through the doorway.
Okay.
Come on, something good.
Okay, we're doing it. Okay, opening the lockbox.
Inside, there seem to be several valuables, notably a golden watch piece, about 100 Deutschmarks, 100 francs, 50 pounds, and, well, actually, come to think of it, taking a good look at it now, a Mauser pistol.
I know.
You do.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of different kinds of money. Is my issue. If it was one kind of money, like I don't want to take that gold watch. Like we can't eat a watch. That's no good. But
that's a lot of money. That sounds like a spy amount of money.
That's my issue. Is that it's different. It's 3 different kinds in a pistol.
And a Mauser pistol.
Let's leave the watch, take everything else.
It's solid. It's gold, though.
No, I smack your hand away.
It's gold.
No, you can have here. Take the money.
Because I don't know the exchange rates on these ancient currencies, I'll say that it's about equivalent to $100 worth
of each kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like 200 Deutsche Bars. Holy crap! That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a pretty sizable amount. Like you would figure that this is probably
more than a farmer would save up.
Yeah, that's what I take issue with. I'm like, okay, I like literally, I let Carl take the cash.
Just pocket.
I put the watch back in though. Because I'm just like, leaving this dude something, and locking it back up, putting it back down, putting the key back.
Yeah,
like,
leaving this farmer something.
Yeah. It's I don't care. It's something. I don't want to take every last thing. It makes me feel better about myself to leave something in that box.
So that I'm not a complete looter, right?
Yeah.
They were holding the Mauser, and it's like, I don't need this.
Yeah, hey, City Kid, you want?
Rose.
Sure. Yep. Totally know how to use one.
Comes complete with a box of ammo, all for you. Lucky day.
We're low on ammo.
Yeah. And she'll take the mouse and the box of ammo and just kind of, for a second, to stand there before remembering that she had a bag that she can put this stuff in.
Just like,
Yeah.
The bag is getting heavy. Not terribly so, but
yeah.
I think we'll like reconvene in like the main area of the house and go through the bags. And you said there was glass jars of some kind?
Yes, glass jars. Pickled eggs and other pickled vegetables. Like nothing great, but it's food.
Still food. It's edible, arguably. I think I'm going to use my camouflage canvas. Like I have a cloak thing. I'm just going to wrap some of the glass in there. Try to make because like the road up here, the ride was so bumpy that those things won't last 2 minutes.
Fair enough.
Do what we can to keep it going.
All right. There's a little bit of padding with your cloak sort of wrapped around it.
Padding.
Arguably. But as it stands, there is still another homestead on your quadrant. And for narrative sake, the sheds, you don't find anything much of use as you sort of meander your way around.
No dead body of a French farmer that's been put in the shed.
Oh yeah, the actual farmer who actually had this house?
Yeah,
Not the spy I apparently spoke to in the bar?
Well, spy.
You assume spy. Could have been the smuggler.
That's
Wait,
fair.
do they speak English or French?
You speaking English?
No,
with
did the
pretend
farmer-
French accent.
Do the farmers speak French or English? Oh God! Sorry, I'm overthinking things.
You have this existential crisis, unfortunately, as you realize the DM forgot to clarify that yes, you were speaking in French, but
Oh, we were. Okay.
most likely, I would say.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, but
Glad I learned all that French in school back in Canada.
of course. All right. So as you're walking along, is there anything that y'all are keeping an eye out for, or otherwise being cognizant of as you approach the haunted house?
Haunted house. Haunted house. No, I'm not doing that. But I, as a human person in real life, am doing that.
All right. So you come upon the Dufour household that he had eloquently cursed. It is
that's right.
It is a two-story farmstead. It seems that the Dufours had done very well for themselves. As you actually continue along, the door is locked. Front door, at the very least, as well as the back door. There's a shed that is situated upon the side of the upon the side of the building itself. And I would like for you all to sort of just tell me what you're going to do to get in.
I guess turn to Rose. You're like, what do you think we should do? Through the front or around the back? I got this club, this big trench thing. I can go through that front door, no problem.
Should we break doors? Is breaking doors?
It is likely going to happen at some point.
We're in a war.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Sarge said not to, pull up any wood panels or anything, so I kind of extended that to, not doing too much damage.
I'll follow your lead. We can be careful, but something's gonna happen eventually.
Yes. How would you like to nicely enter this household?
Yeah, I think Rose is gonna get a little closer to the house and just kind of take a better look at the doors and windows and all that stuff.
Scan the horizon then, I guess?
Well, it should more just like investigating
Or
whether
just-
things are locked or like open or.
Yeah, let's go with
whatever.
wit then. Or wit or eye, whichever is higher.
They're both 0.
I'm sorry.
My +1 is in valor.
Good.
That's a 10 though, so.
Okay.
Oh my God! What are these rules?
Okay. You remember a flashback to the windowsill that was at the previous household, how it had sort of been, it seemed, butchered before being situated up to where somebody could get in.
Mhm.
There above the shed is a window. It has been smashed open. From, and this is important to note, from the outside in. So there is no debris, no glass, except going inside the household.
It's already been broken into.
Does that mean we can skip the nice entering part yet, Rose? I mean, City Kid.
I think she like brightens up at Rose and then goes back to City Kid. I guess.
Or if you want, alley-oop, you want to go up? Huh? You said it was an up window, right? You said it
Yes.
was... Yeah. Huh?
Sure, I can do that. Totally. Go in first through the
Braun.
window.
Braun, both of you. As you join
Carl, you too, come here.
I mean, I'm a 6'2" German
Yeah.
brawny guy. Like,
I'm not
Braun,
I don't have
all
any
of you-
points
all
in
of you roll
Braun. I
Braun.
just want. I like the idea of throwing our little new kid.
with an 8
6!
plus. No matter. With my 10, I don't think it's gonna help.
You rolled a 5.
Throw up. Misses the window.
Rose. Okay. As with most things, Rose, Estella, I will give you a choice. 1 harm, 1 stress.
Oof.
I'll take it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say harm because I'm going into a window with broken glass.
Carl,
Ooh, that makes sense.
Carl, with your 10, I'll say that you can take one or the other if you want to make it easier on these two.
I think I'll take a stress.
Okay. So decide, Rose or Estella, who doesn't have to take the hit.
I think I'll take it from Rose.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Thank you.
I think
yeah.
that makes sense too.
Okay. So Rose, you don't have to take that, but I would like you to roll I as you are shunted onto the roof of this shed.
Didn't realize
It's
it was
very
that big.
it's very ungraceful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think like Rose will kind of like start to scrabble into the window.
Okay. You almost cut your hand on the jagged sort of ridge that is left, but you are able to sort of gather yourself very quickly and fling open the window. I would like you to roll I, please, as you've got a new vantage point.
Did we clear the area before we started doing this? I've completely forgotten. Oh god, this is a bad idea.
It's 7.
Interesting. I have some interesting news for you.
Oh, goody.
Does anyone have a grenade?
Yes. Did you?
Good to know.
It's very strange. You don't exactly like from your vantage point. It's very difficult to sort of pinpoint, but you hear pops, and you immediately sort of attend your eye into the direction of where those pops are coming from. They seem to be coming from where the Gurkhas were sort of stationed. You can't quite make out what's happening, but you swear that you almost see something, but it's lost almost as soon as your eye attends to it.
So, are we witness to this as well?
You are only hearing the pops, given the way that you're situated and the debacle that it was to get. Rose onto the roof. Yeah, you aren't able to sort of. You aren't able to see clearly what exactly transpired.
Okay. Do we want to call up to Rose and see what's going on? See if they're okay? Like, we're just standing at the bottom of the house.
Yeah, we're standing
Yeah.
like underneath, looking up.
Yeah, I think Rose is like leaning out, where she was kind of like looking in the
Mhm.
direction.
I think I'm gonna hand you up my rifle, because my rifle actually has has a scope on it to see if you can get a closer look. So I'm just gonna like hand you with the butt of the rifle, trying to make sure your hand doesn't accidentally go on the trigger. And
she'll grab it and she'll kind of lift it up and look through the scope, trying to see if she can spot anything in the direction of the pops and where she thought something.
and meanwhile, the ghost.
Yeah, I'm not looking for anything in real life. I'm just looking for ghosts.
Absolutely. All right. So, having gotten into the residence itself, as you continue along and as you make sure to incorporate the arrival of this potential threat, the house itself seems to be, unfortunately, well looted. Actually seems to, at least on the surface, the first floor, anybody who is able to make their way into the house proper finds that there's not a lot in terms of rations or the like, and indeed it's very eerie, the scene here. In the living room, there seem to be scattered a lot of children's toys. The stuffed monkey, a wooden cart with a horse. It's a whole sort of scene that you're not able to parse together unless you roll wit. So, if you want to find out what exactly is going on as you make your way inside.
We'll just say Rose ran down.
Yeah.
Ran down to like open the front door and then ran back up to the top to kind of take a look out with the scope.
Yeah,
Sure.
so nothing came from her view of looking for the pops?
Sure.
With the scope?
An eye check with, we'll say, +2. Or scan the horizon, excuse me.
Never used a scope before. Oh my god.
Then that's a +1, excuse me.
Yeah. Rose,
Yeah, is Rose doing it, or did she give the gun back to Carl?
I think she gave the gun back to Carl when she ran down to like let you in.
okay, cool. I'll
Back up.
I'll take a look through my scope and see what I can see. Oh, that's not good. That's a 7. That's better than nothing. Yeah, scan the horizon 7.
A 7. Now, remind me of successes in Powered by the Apocalypse. When you get a 7, your view of the battlefield is incomplete. As you peer through the scope, you see what looks to be like a figure that is darting through the wheat stalks, making a beeline for the house.
Am I able to get a good look at them, or is it just a dark figure?
No, you're not able to get a clear look at all.
Probably not going to take the shot then, but I'm just going to keep an eye on it and let my 2 section mates realize what's happening. There's someone coming towards the house.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a ghost?
Unless ghosts are dark figures that move rapidly, then no. I don't know a lot about ghosts in France. French ghosts are different than my Canadian ghost.
Could be.
Okay.
So wait, do we want to prepare to be attacked? What's our plan here? Do we loot the house and leave?
We want to relock that front door, or do we?
It's not a bad idea. Give us an advantage on if anyone's coming. We can. Why don't we lock the front door, go upstairs, hide, remain quiet, see if they come in.
I'm going to remain eyes on with the moving object until I'm able to clearly tell if it's friend or foe, because it could be one of the four allies from earlier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Taking a look, Carl, I need you to make another eye check. No bonuses this time.
Perfect. Scan the horizon or just straight eye?
Scan the horizon.
That is another 7.
You get an idea of the trajectory of where that figure is going, training your eye as best you can. And then you hear something sort of in another direction, and unfortunately lose the trail.
Okay, so focused on one thing, then rapid movement, and then nothing back? Oh god. Guys, don't have eyes on anymore.
All right, back up, right, back upstairs.
Yeah. Did you lock the door behind you?
We're now locked in with the ghosts.
Oh, so good. Okay.
I haven't seen any ghosts here.
Yet. Is it still daytime?
Yes, it's still daytime. I'll say that it's crested into about the afternoon now.
We just have to wait till it gets dark.
I love March afternoons.
Rose is walking upstairs as if pretending she's not scared about ghosts.
Perfect.
Well,
yeah, so
you know what? Roll Valor just to see how convincing it is.
Oh, okay. My only +1. That's an 8 going up to a 9.
It's good. It's good. It's fine. Perfectly go. Good. No worries. Bead of sweat drops down from the temple.
Oh, it's cool. It's fine. Everything's fine.
definitely believe you, city kid.
I'll say that there's a stair that's kind of askew that kind of gives out as you step on it. Rose, which gives away the whole, oh, you're a little scared.
Yeah. So it's like way too much of a reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then like freeze. And then just kind
of... so if we lock the door downstairs and we're all like back upstairs, yeah, definitely just gonna find like a good. Do we wanna space out or stay together, all in one room or separate down the hall?
We should keep eyes on different corners, like keep eyes on different windows, because we don't know what direction they could be coming in. There's these pops we don't know the landscape very well.
Ooh, I have an idea. Is it possible, dear storyteller in the sky, I, as the Scrounger, have the ability to like make things and such, and I also have on me a hatchet. Can I? All I want to do is make like holes in the walls between the rooms so that we can each cover a different window but communicate to each other. And I want to do this quietly is my question. Can I do that?
You can either do it quickly or you can do it quietly.
Gosh dang it. I won't do it then. I don't know. I don't wanna give away our position. So
Don't want to bust down walls. The one thing we were told not to do.
No, we were told not to take the walls. Hey.
Oh, fair enough.
All right, so you're taking your hatchet to the walls between the rooms?
No, I'm not doing it because you said I can't do it quietly, and I don't want to do it if I can't do it quietly.
I said you can do it either quickly or quietly.
No, I'm gonna. It's fine. I'll instead say like, why don't we? Because Carl has a great idea that we should each take a different vantage point. So I want to do that, but I still want to be able to communicate with everyone. So I just say, why don't we like come up with like a knock against the walls we're in to communicate if we see a thing, something like that, like quietly.
I like the idea. If this wasn't a haunted house, because all of a sudden we just start hearing knocks that aren't knocks. I don't know what's gonna happen.
That's why it has to be. Oh, you're muted.
Well, if things are, if we have a pattern knock, then we know when it's an us knock and when it's a not us knock. I'm sure it won't be ghosts knocking.
Yeah, we'll just, they're ghosts. They have to be old. We'll use a very modern song. They won't know it yet.
And
so
now,
they can't...
Do you know any 1915 songs?
I
that
don't
would be of the time.
Stella does.
God.
Rose, I do have a quick question. Did you lock the front door?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes, we locked the front door.
No real reason to ask, I just wanted to.
Cool.
And y'all are on which floor now? Or are you in the stairwell?
I believe I'm still at the window taking a look outside.
Which would be in the stairwell.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
Just asking. At any rate, I will say as
yeah,
you're
Rose is up
having...
on top.
Okay.
Did
All
we
right.
clear the house? I don't think we cleared the house, guys.
No, you didn't.
I think we should. You guys, well, while I'm keeping an eye out, does people want to take a quick look
Yeah,
around?
I can do that. You wanna? Hey, new kid, you wanna? You take this side, I take that side.
Yep.
We meet
sure.
back here. If we're not back in this many minutes, I don't know what is appropriate amount of minutes. You know,
All right.
then.
So,
Okay.
You see anything? Scream.
Good plan.
So, I would like you all to roll I, just really quickly. Carl, you can roll scan the battlefield if you want to try and get another beat on the one
Yeah,
that got away.
I think I'll do that. Oh, that's a 12. So.
Okay.
Also got a 12.
Oh my
Even
god.
better.
If this is I rolled a 5.
Who went down to the first floor? Estella, was that you?
I guess it was me since I rolled bad.
I am setting up something here. All right.
Oh, are you? I never would have guessed.
Rose.
Well, you have that grenade still, right?
I do. If all else fails, grenade.
From chopping wood quietly to grenade. Funny how that happens. We begin with Rose. Rose, as you make your way to the second floor of this abode, the house is relatively intact. But on the second floor, in the master bedroom, or what you interpret as the master bedroom, it looks properly just ransacked. You see that some kind of chest has been emptied of valuables upon the floor. There's a discarded journal, which in fine, elegant French hand describes how the Dufort household was able to escape to Denmark. Indeed, there's the sentence, "Thank God for Danish uncles," sort of repeated, being that they're neutral, at least there's some sort of homestead to go to. But looking at the clothes that have been discarded, these are not villagers. This is a soldier's clothing. In particular, it's a German soldier's clothing. Yeah. We now go to Carl. Carl, as this discovery is made, your eyes settle and you note that there seems to be a breach in the wheat stalks surrounding this house, and you just missed what seems to be somebody going around to the front door of the house. But that is not of immediate concern to you, as indeed upon the wind, which you understand perfectly clearly, you hear the following. Lassen Sie keine Fehler. Fehler werden Sie treuer zu Stand kommen. A whisper on the wind, many, many yards away from the house, hits your ear. Sie sagen das immer, a voice rings out in response, carefree. Ich meine es ernst, Schmidt. Oh, von Gott sei ich stolz auf Ihnen. Halt! Halt die Klappe, Scheiße! This is the last you hear, as the voices disperse, and the footsteps that accompanied them grow quiet. The wood creaks around you, as Estella, unfortunately preoccupied with your survey of the first floor, you fail to hear the click of the lock of the front door and the entrance of a man, dressed in civilian clothing, very much shaken, distraught, Mauser pistol in hand, and gas can in grip, who makes his way very quietly to the other end of the house. Your attentions were called elsewhere.
So I did not see this. Like, how far away from me is this dude?
Like a yard or two, but around sort of a wall, so his footsteps are very muffled. But there seems to be another presence in the house that you must deal with.
Ghostly one.
Come next time.
Ah.
Oh, snap. I'm excited.
Oh no.
I remember that Dan told me in the beginning when I started consulting him on what to do for any proper Ross Rifle session, and he very eloquently said something along the lines of, make violence an everyday part of life. So good luck. Next session will be a very interesting time as you are met with the deserter and all that entails. For now, though, I thank Kienna, even through their shocked demeanor, for having me aboard the channel. So sorry that things were going on my end, but I have been Jason, at Just Jason Please on Twitter if you want to find me at any one point in time. And I'm just so happy that I was able to run Ross Rifles. Dan, Daniel, and Patrick. You did a fantastic job with this game. I'm so glad to showcase it here, especially on Salty Sweet Games. And to be with this group of people is just always a delight. I'll hand it off over to Kienna with, again, a thanks to everyone who was watching. So glad to have you as part of the audience. And don't worry, I think it was Mal who tipped that reroll. It'll find some good use.
Yay! We'll go and see our other two players, and they can tell us where we can find them on the internet, how they enjoyed this, and all that fun stuff. Let's go over to Daniel. Hello.
Hi, so I'm Daniel again. I'm the head of operations at Dundas West Games. If you want to find out more about Ross Rifles, the game that was just played, it's one where just kickstarted back in October. Successful, good. So you can follow us on Twitter, which is at Dundas West Games. Go to our website, dundaswestgames.com. But yeah, thank you so much for playing the game, and I had a lot of fun. It's been great being a player.
Yay! It's a really awesome game, and be interesting to see how things turn out next time. And let's go over to Jess. Yay, Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. This was so much fun. I can't wait until next time. I'm sad we were promised ghosts and there's no ghosts yet. Still waiting for ghosts. I also love how soft and sweet Rose is, and I feel so bad being mean, but also I just feel like that's what my character would do given our history. I'm sorry. You're awesome.
So good.
And Dan, please tell Dan and not Dan that this game is great. Thank you so much. This has been awesome. Well, I just feel like that's what it ended up being. It's Dan, and not Dan now. I'm so sorry. I don't make the rules. I just go along with what happens. I'm Jess. You can find me at go_JG in most places. I stream TTRPGs, I make TTRPGs, and I do all sorts of nonsense. So I'm so glad to finally get to play with y'all on this channel. It's my first time on this channel. Thank you.
Yay. Awesome. I guess that just leaves me and the channel. I'm Kienna. I am the sweet of this channel. You can find me over on Twitter at KiennaS. Best way to figure out what I do. I'm on the internet doing all sorts of role-playing things, streaming, writing, screaming into the void, as one does. But you can find me and Salty here on this channel. We do a couple shows on the weekends. We do Pulp Cthulhu on Saturdays, and we do The Witcher on Sundays, and this on Sundays as well. So super excited for that. Thank you everyone who has supported us, whether by following, subscribing, donating. Helps us keep us going, keep the light on over here on Salty Sweet Games. Another way to support us again is our merch store, our Redbubble, where you can get some real cute designs of Pretzel, our mascot, or of the complex love polyhedrals. Other than that, again, go give some love to Dundas West Games, and Ross Rifles is a super awesome game. Really, really cool stuff coming out of there. So yeah, if you weren't part of the Kickstarter, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunity to get that game as soon as it comes out. Other than that, find us over on Twitter. One best way to find out when we go live, with everything that's been going on in the world. Likely we'll be doing a few more impromptu streams of video games or one shots and all that. So again, follow us over there. Best way to find out when we go live next. I believe that is everything for us today. Give a big thank you to everybody and for everyone who joined us, and we will talk to you all later. Wait, bye, everybody.